welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel. So Stagecoach was a very, very long, windy, dirty weekend. I actually really had a great time. It is very tiring. So it was 3 days out in the desert, so Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, with a major headliner on each day. So I got there Friday afternoon, evening, and then I really wanted to see Florida Georgia Line. They were like my #1 to see. So I saw them Friday night, and they were really, really awesome. So, pros and cons of Stagecoach. I'll start with the cons because there actually really aren't a lot of cons. Transportation is probably the only / biggest con. So I had a shuttle pass. I think the shuttle passes were like $85 or something like that. And so how that works is you go to a meeting point at like a store or mall or whatever. You meet the shuttles there. The shuttles will take you into the event and also bring you back and drop you off at the same location. So for me, I had an Airbnb, and my Airbnb was actually 2.5 miles away from the venue, and the closest shuttle stop to the venue was like 4 miles away. So I was like, okay, whatever, like I already bought the shuttle pass, but it just seems to make more sense to Uber there and back. So Ubering to the event was never a problem. It was like a $10 Uber ride, super quick, super easy, and painless. The thing that sucks is that where the Uber pickup and drop off is about like a mile away from the front gate of the event. So you like end up in this dirt lot, and then you have to walk like a mile to the actual event entrance. And it was super dusty, rocky, dirty, really hard to walk in boots. But you know, whatever, fine. So Ubering there, not an issue. The first night I decided I was going to try to Uber home because it just seemed to make sense to me, and I was only 2.5 miles away. So I'm tired, my feet hurt, I'm hungry, and I get to the Uber location and they're saying that it's going to be an 1.5-hour wait for an Uber. I'm like, okay, well, I don't want to walk to the shuttles because the shuttles are in like the complete opposite direction, like across the venue, so it would have been probably like 1.5 miles, 2 miles to actually get to where the shuttles are, and the shuttles stop running an hour after the event stops. So I was short on time, wasn't going to happen. So I was like, whatever, I guess I'm just going to Uber home and just wait an 1.5 hours. So I'm waiting, I like call up the Uber, and if you're not familiar with Ubering from an event that a lot of people are trying to leave, it's not like a regular Uber request. So what you do is you request an Uber and they end up giving you a code, and then you wait in line, and whenever the next available Uber comes, you give them your code, and that gives them your destination and all your information. So I get my code and I go and I wait in line. I'm standing there and everyone's tired and annoyed and aggravated, and I'm like, okay, 1.5 hours, whatever. So I'm waiting and waiting, and then someone yells, hey, like, just so you know, it's going to be a 2-hour wait now. And everyone's just like, are you kidding me? But we're all here, we're all still waiting, we're all trying to get home. And then, so Uber has like charging stations, they have water, they're handing out sandwiches to people because they know we're all just like standing around waiting, and they also had Wi-Fi in the area. So they were being as helpful as they could in the section that we were waiting in. So then we're waiting and waiting, and it seems like Uber stopped coming, and so we're like, what is the deal? So then someone tells us it's now a 4-hour wait for an Uber. Like, what? In what world is it a 4-hour wait for an Uber? So people start freaking out and like yelling at the security guard, and like they're just all like mad, and they're like, whatever, we're just gonna walk home. So a bunch of people just like left to walk, and security was also saying you could walk out of like the venue area and go to like a residential neighborhood or go to a shopping area where it would probably be easier to request an Uber. But at this point it's like, I don't know, like 1 in the morning, and I'm by myself, and I'm like dead tired, hungry, my feet hurt, like I'm not walking anywhere. I'm definitely not walking anywhere by myself in the wee hours of the morning. So I felt kind of stuck, like I don't really have any other options. Like, what the hell am I supposed to do? So I stick around, and then the Uber people come out and they say like, hey, everyone needs to cancel their requests and request new Ubers, because that way it'll take you out of like that group Uber request thing and it'll go back to the regular Uber booking. So I do that, and then it says there's like a 15-minute wait. So okay, fine. So we're waiting, and then all the Ubers are getting lost because the cops had closed off a lot of the roads. So the Ubers are canceling on people. They're taking like twice as long to get there, and it was just like a huge, complete shit show. So eventually my Uber arrives, and I'm like the last person, like literally one of the last people to leave the festival. I end up getting back to my Airbnb at around like 2:15, and it was a nightmare. That alone was like enough to make me not want to go back. But I was like, okay, like whatever, Uber sucks, like obviously don't Uber back again and take the shuttle. And even though the shuttle drops you off further away, it'll probably be less complicated to get home. So that's what I did. So the next 2 nights, what I did is I went to the shuttled to like 5-10 miles away from my Airbnb, and then Ubered back to my Airbnb. So it was a little more complicated, but the shuttle system was super easy. Like you get right on, and it's just way more convenient. So I wish I had done that the first day instead of thinking I was smarter than the system. So definitely do not Uber when you're leaving the event. Take the shuttle, because it's so much easier. And yeah, it's $85, but at that time when you're Ubering home, the Ubers were running for like $40. So it's definitely worth it, and it'll save you a lot of hassle and headache. So I think that was actually the only con. Of course, the weather, like it was in the middle of the desert, so you need to be aware that it will be hot. At night it will get cold and windy. I saw so many cowboy hats flying away in the wind, and there's so much dirt, so I would definitely suggest wearing glasses. I have these glasses that are sunglasses, but the actual sunglass part lifts up, and so then it's kind of just like fake regular glasses. So I did that so I could have protection day and night. Also bandanas a lot of people were wearing. I wasn't, but it's definitely a good idea, because I feel like I probably still have dirt in my nasal passages and everywhere, my ears and my hair. Dirt keeps falling off, so you will get dirty and you might get cold. So definitely bring like a sweater or something. I had my poncho with me for the nighttime. And be prepared to walk a lot, because I think I walked maybe like a total of 20 miles that weekend. So it's definitely a lot of walking. The festival grounds are huge. So yeah, just be ready for all those things. It's not really a con, it's just kind of the nature of the festival, and most festivals, including Coachella, it's the same thing because it's at the same location. So pros, I mean, it was pretty organized. Like, get in, get out, security wasn't a hassle. We all had the RFID or whatever wristband, so you just kind of like scan it on your way in. So that was a super simple process. They have a few different stages. There's main stage, and it goes pretty much like all the way back to the entrance. And there's a lot of different sections for you to stand in. There's also sections where you can bring blankets or like low chairs so you can sit and relax. They had really huge screens, so no matter where you are, you could see it. So all that was good. There was plenty of food options. There were vegetarian and vegan food options. A lot of sweets, lots of alcohol, so you definitely have a lot of beer, margarita. Those were like the main options. And then they also did have some wine there. And I don't know if they had mixed drinks, because I don't drink, so I didn't really notice. People did bring their children, so you can bring kids. It was, I don't know if I'd say it was like a family-friendly event, just because there are so many drunk people. But yeah, you could definitely bring your kids there. There was a honky-tonk dance hall where you can go and learn how to two-step, but then at night it kind of turns into a nightclub, and like they just play regular music and everyone goes and dances there. So there was definitely a lot to do. I'm trying to think. It was a cool vibe, because I've been to Coachella before, like I said, and Coachella's crazy. Like, you go and everyone's on like different types of drugs, and like some people are nice, some people are mean. It's just like a crazy, like weird vibe, like a mixture of people who aren't all on the same level. And I'm not so sure I would go again. Like maybe if I had a group of friends that wanted to go, I would, but I'm not like dying to go back to Coachella because it was kind of a disaster. But with Stagecoach, there was just mostly a lot of drinking going on, and everyone was drunk and like happy, and everyone was just so nice. And like it was weird because you could tell like the guys were mostly gentlemen, so like if someone drops something, there's a guy there like immediately to pick it up, or if like a girl's struggling to carry something, there's a guy there to like help her out. Or like dancing, like people were like actually dancing, like I don't know, it was really cute to see that. It wasn't like, oh, like someone twerking on someone. It was like they're actually like doing a real dance, and the guys are like dipping the girls or like spinning them. I don't know, it was really cute. It was like a very cute vibe. Like it would be a really cool place to go with like a significant other, because it just seemed like a nice like romantical type of thing. So yeah, I think I had a lot of fun. I didn't really do too much of like any random activities that they had. I was pretty much at main stage all weekend. I would only go later in the day, so it wasn't so hot. So I think the first 2 nights I left my Airbnb around like 6. And then the last day I wanted to see Kane Brown, who performed at like 5:30, I think. So I actually showed up to the venue earlier, and that was my longest day. But yeah, I would definitely recommend Stagecoach. It's just a good time. I think even if you don't really care about country music, they're such talented musicians, and like it's just always fun to like hear people's sets and like see how different people perform. Like for instance, Keith Urban was performing, and I don't really care about Keith Urban, or I didn't, and his music I was just like, oh whatever, but like I'll stay and watch because it's Keith Urban. And he put on a really good show, and I actually became a fan after watching him perform. And then Casey Musgraves, who is someone that I wanted to see, she didn't really put on a good show, and it was actually kind of boring, so I didn't even watch like half of it, just because I was like, this is not entertaining at all. So you never know. You could be converted into a fan, and it's just like just being in the atmosphere, people watching, meeting new people. We met new people like every day. Because everyone was just so open and like talkative, and I don't know, it was really cool. I really, really liked the vibe. So I would definitely go again. So I went by myself, technically. My friend came down with me, and she shared my Airbnb with me just because she also wanted to get away, but she hates country music, so she didn't go into the festival. So we would like hang out in my Airbnb during the day, and then I would head to the festival in the evening. And I knew people that were going, people from my work. So when I got there, I would like meet up with them. So, I mean, I wasn't completely by myself all the time, but like getting there, being there, walking around by myself, I felt fine. I didn't feel like it was unsafe or threatened or anything like that. I felt completely comfortable and safe being by myself. So yeah, I would definitely recommend it. I think it's just a fun time, and I'm always down to go to festivals because I think it's something I'd really like to experience at least once. You know, like I want to go to Bonnaroo, I want to go to Burning Man, I want to go to Lollapalooza. Like I want to hit up all these different festivals just to see, because they're all so different, and you never know what kind of vibe you're gonna get. And they're all just different experiences, and they all have so many different things for you to do. So yeah. So if I had to rate Stagecoach out of 10, I would give it, I think I'd give it like an 8, because it was pretty legit. And yeah, nothing was like crazily priced. I think the alcohol was kind of expensive, but you know, I don't know, it didn't affect me. But like the waters were like $2. And then I'm trying to think what else I bought. I know some of the food was a little pricey, but nothing crazy, nothing that you wouldn't expect, you know, otherwise. And they do have some actual bathrooms there on site that you can go to, as well as a ton of porta potties. So yeah, I really enjoyed my time there. I was very, very tired when I got home. I got home Monday evening, and then I think I slept for like 16 hours on Tuesday. So I think I'm all caught up on my sleep now, but it will be a long weekend. Your feet will hurt. But I don't know, it was worth it. I would totally go again. So yeah, thought of another con. It's kind of like a possible con, like worst case scenario type of con, but the first day security, you know, was actually being thorough and like looking in your bags, having you unzip your back pockets of your bags, like making sure you're emptying out your pockets of your pants and whatever, and being, you know, thorough and just making sure they're checking everything. The next 2 days though, they weren't really checking anyone's bag. Like, I kind of just opened mine and I had my poncho, which was wrapped up, and took up most of my bag. They didn't even make me take it out. They didn't look in any of the pockets of my bag. My friends that were there, all they did was kind of like shake their bag and like they didn't even look inside. So I appreciate the fact that, you know, there's assuming that none of us are crazy and like have anything horrible that we're trying to sneak into the venue, and like people are probably just sneaking in like alcohol or like whatever. But at the same time, considering the events that have been happening, considering like Route 91 and, you know, things like that, like I know that I wouldn't mind having to go through that thorough security check every time. Like, yeah, it's a hassle. You have to pull all your shit out of your bags and whatever, and it takes time, and like you might have to wait in line, but I feel like I would rather actually go through a thorough security check every day than not, and have someone with bad intentions be able to get in and bring in something that could be harmful to a bunch of people. So, I mean, that's a con, but like, you know, nothing happened, so it didn't really matter anyways. But still, it could have been bad had someone had bad intentions. So I think that's like the only other like little con that I can think of. I would also do your research for any sort of pre-parties or after parties, because I was able to go to the H2O Plus Beauty event that they were throwing this weekend, and it was a pool party at this ridiculously amazing estate that like I will never in my life be able to afford to stay at. But it was a pool party, and like just hung out. We got a lot of swag. So FabFitFun was there, and they gave out little Stagecoach survival kits, which was really awesome. And then H2O Beauty Plus gave us little swag bags of like trial samples of their products and stuff. And there was also food, drinks, music. There were some country performers that were there from Stagecoach. They had like massages, hair braiding, manicures. What else did they have? They had like a bunch of different things, and so I would definitely do your research to see what sort of parties are in the area if you go to a large festival like Coachella or Stagecoach, because there will be some. You just have to kind of like find them and figure it out. So it kind of gives you something more to do besides going to the venue right away, especially if there aren't performers you really care to see at certain times. You have other ways to fill your time. And that was one of my favorite parts of the weekend, because I was just laying in the pool like relaxing, and it was amazing. And it definitely helped me kind of rejuvenate and get my energy back from the night before. So definitely do your research and see what you can find. Get some cool shit and meet some cool people. Alright, up next I have my birthday weekend. So I will be vlogging what we end up doing for that. Going to escape room, and then I'm also going to a concert and having brunch. So I'll be vlogging some of that, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.